Welcome to Salt and Light Canning. I'm Jessica and this is my kitchen. And I have a lot going on today, but my wonderful husband went out and picked our green beans and I have a whole sink full of green beans. So I need to get them canned. These are contender bush beans. I grow bush beans here. If you grow pole beans, good for you. I grow bush beans because my dog really likes to eat them. So if I do pole beans, I have to do them along my fence. And then I don't get any green beans because my dog will eat them. So to avoid that whole situation, I grow bush beans and I don't put them next to the fence. So all I'm doing to start to prep my green beans is I have washed them really well and they've been soaking in a sink of cold water. I added a little bit of vinegar to make sure, get anything off. We never use any pesticides or anything on our garden. If you do, well, that's what you do. That's not what we do. I'm just cutting the little end off here and then cutting the bean in half. The contender bush beans are a stringless bush bean variety, which just means if you pick them young, you probably will not have really fibrous green beans without having to remove the strings. Hope that you had a wonderful garden season. Hope that you got lots and lots of produce. Praise God. I'm just going to keep cutting green beans until my bowl is full. And then I'm going to get them in jars. And I will probably have to repeat the process a couple of times because I have a lot of green beans. And I'm so thankful for the bountiful harvest that God has given us. Such a blessing. We serve a good God who does awesome things and always provides. One of my favorite things out of the garden is green beans. I have wonderful memories of going through my mama's garden and picking beans just off the plants and just eating them right there. I'm excited to be able to can green beans today, but I'm also doing apple butter and I've got lots of things going on because sometimes that's the way food processing works, right? And it's such a blessing. So please watch the apple butter video too. It'll be amazing. And I don't know which one will come up first, green beans or apple butter, but they will both come up eventually. Just so thankful and blessed for the abundance that God has given us. But anyways, I'm just going to keep cutting my beans. We like them in half. You could leave them whole. You could cut them small. Please do it however you want to do it. All right? This is what we like. You do what you like. Just so thankful. So blessed. So I'm going to keep cutting because I have an awful lot to do. I'll be back when I'm doing something else. Well, we are back. It got really late last night, and so I chopped green beans and then I put them in the fridge. I just got too tired to finish them. So today we're finishing apple butter and I'm finishing green beans, and it's all a thing. So I have my prepped green beans and I washed them again because I just did. And I have my clean jars and I'm going to get my green beans in the jars. And for this, I don't use a funnel. I just put them in jars. Now, green beans were one of the very first things that I pressure canned. I just love it. You gotta shake them down some. Just get them all stuffed in there. We're going to fill to about 1 inch of headspace. And get them good and stuffed in there. Sometimes I use my pickle packer and I kind of squish them down a little bit. Get all the green beans in the jar. Just like that. And I'm just going to keep filling jars. I'll be back when I'm doing something else. Well, I have my jars full of green beans. I have more green beans in the sink that I need to prep. I like a little bit of salt in my green beans. I do not like a lot of salt, okay? So I have 3/4 of a teaspoon here. You do not have to salt your green beans at all if you want. Some people put up to a tablespoon in a quart jar, which for me is just entirely too much. So I have a 3/4 teaspoon here. And this is just kosher salt. It's not canning salt, it's kosher salt. You can use whatever salt you want, just not iodized salt. There we go. So get a little bit of salt in the jars. And then I use filtered water because I'm on city water. You don't have to. I do. I don't want a bunch of chlorine in my green beans. So I'm going to fill to 1 inch of headspace. Okay. Then green beans are kind of difficult to debubble because you've like packed them all in there. So I have a chopstick. And I'm just going to run it around the outside, do my best, smush them back down. And then if I need to, I'll add a little bit more water. There we go. Then I'm going to take my paper towel and a little white vinegar, and I will wipe the rims of my jars because I don't want anything that could interfere with my jar sealing. Get my lid, line it up, and my ring just to finger tight. They're so pretty. I'm just going to repeat the process with all of my jars. We will be pressure canning our green beans. All right, my canner is full. This is my 16-quart Presto pressure canner. When I'm canning quarts, I love this little canner. Takes less to heat it, and I couldn't double stack in my 23-quart one anyway, because unless I was doing pints, and I don't do green beans in pints. So anyways, my water is cold. Everything is cold because the contents of my jar was cold. So I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to turn on my heat to about a medium high. I'm going to bring this up to temperature, and I'm going to let it vent for 10 minutes. And venting is a steady stream of steam out of this little vent right here. And once it starts venting, I'll start the timer for 10 minutes. And when that's done, I will put my weight on and bring it up to 15 pounds of pressure. That's what I need to do for my altitude. And I will time for 25 minutes. I'll be back when I'm taking them out. Well, I processed my green beans for 25 minutes, and then the timer went off, and I turned the heat off, and I just let the pressure in my canner come down slowly. Do not rush your pressure canner. Just don't do it, okay? You don't want to cause siphoning. You don't want to cause any problems with what's going on in there. So 25 minutes, and then I let the pressure come down slowly. Then I took my weight off, and I waited a few minutes, and then I opened the lid just a little bit, and I waited a few minutes. Then I took the lid off, and I've waited a few minutes, and now I'm going to take them out. So pretty. Green beans in the jar are one of my favorite things. And they're bubbling and they're doing things. Now I'm going to let them sit here, and I'm not going to disturb them. I never cover my jars. Don't do that. Just let them sit. And tomorrow I will come and take the rings off, and I'll wash the jars, and I'll label them and put them in the pantry. Let me know what you're doing in your pantry, in your garden. I love to hear from you. Let me know if you have just an abundance that you're trying to put up in the different recipes that you are working on in your kitchen. I'm so blessed. God is so good. Anyways, be so blessed. Know that you're loved, and be a blessing to someone else. I'll see you in the next video.